Welcome in, everybody, to episode 268 of the official Butthole Podcast, brought to you by your favorite buds. In this episode, we're 3 days away from NFL kickoff. Who's excited?
Me.
We're going to get into who we think is going to be the top quarterback of this season for fantasy, the top running back, the top wide receiver, the top tight end, as well as early season heroes, a Butthole 5, a Fantasy 101 to kick things off, and plug a little Thrive Fantasy along the way. Let's do this.
Or now I can just... Nice job, high five.
One shot, one kill. Ronnie did.
Now introducing your Butthole Podcast, Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage, and Star Lamar.
What's up, girl?
I love the butthole.
It's an actual injury. Well, what's up? Welcome to episode 268.
Dude, you stepped on my toes. Who doesn't love the butthole?
Oh, I do.
I love the butthole.
All right. Gage's Rage, kick it off. Fantasy
All right.
101.
We're going to talk about the last tip in fantasy preseason, setting your lineup. All right. Now, if you have
That's a fucking tough one.
if you have got multiple leagues,
I know some people who have trouble setting their lineup on a weekly basis.
Someone maybe who's a viewer here tonight?
Yeah, he might be just out of screen down over here, but
if you're in multiple leagues, you have lots of players, and setting your lineup could be a really tough decision every week. You want to look across all of your matchups and see who you're playing in which league. Maybe don't play that player if you have a very good option behind him. So if you're playing Saquon Barkley and you have two good running backs on your depth chart, add those guys instead of Saquon. But you should probably play your studs. Well, first and foremost, play your best players. Look at matchups. If you're playing against a guy going against Houston and he's a wide receiver, that could be a really rough game because Houston's going to be just dog shit this year. They're going to be up by a ton. They're going to be running the ball. Maybe a receiver doesn't have as great of a game as someone else can have that you may look at as being a less quality player, but having a better matchup. So evaluating that situation every week, it can get you familiar with who's going to be good teams in the NFL, who's going to be the bad teams, and then who's going to produce the most fantasy points. Because fantasy football is very different than real football. You can have a lot of really good fantasy players on a really terrible team that loses every game of the year. So look at your matchups and try and set the best team across all your leagues to score the most points.
Engage, what's the most important rule of fantasy football?
You never bet against your real team.
Oh, I wasn't going to say
Oh,
that. I was going to say have fun.
oh, yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Win money. That's the most important rule. But that's what I do too. If my team is going up against the Vikings, I won't play them that week. If they're a stud, I'll play them still.
Don't listen
But
to that advice, people.
That's
it's a
playing
flex
with your
play-
heart. That's playing with your heart.
Don't do that.
You can play with your heart.
I
No,
you
100%
can still-
agree with Gage. I'm the same way.
I do not
if
want.
it's my number one running back, number one wide receiver, they're in the lineup. If I'm deciding between a couple people and they're one of them,
That's a deciding
they
factor.
go on the bench.
Yes, totally.
I don't want to
agree.
root for them. I don't want to cheer for them. I'm watching the Vikings. But I got a question. Past weeks in this, you've talked about going after those bang guys on the waiver wire that have the big weeks.
Yep.
How soon is too soon to play them? Do you play them immediately the next week after they have one big week? Or do you have to wait and see if they can do it again before they take a spot on your roster?
I say you go for it right away because if you're one that's waiting to sleep on it, waiting to see something a little more consistent, you're going to miss your opportunity. Someone else is willing to take the shot, has the roster spot available. To
No,
scoop that
so
guy right away.
they're on your bench.
You
got
pick them up that
but
week
do you
one.
put them in the starting lineup immediately, or do you wait to see if they are actually good or if they just had one good week?
It depends on your situation.
Yeah, it's situational. If you are in a desperate spot where you're starting this guy or you're starting a way lesser player than that guy produced in week one, go for the shot. If you've got quality depth and you're talking about a flex play, either this guy or someone that's a low floor type of guy that doesn't have a lot of upside like this guy showed in the first week or whatever, then you weigh your options. But if you have to start him, you have to start him. There's no ways around it.
You got to look at their matchup too. I mean, if they thrived against, let's say, the Jets, well, that's pretty obvious. A
Take
running
that
back
into
is going to
account.
run against the Jets. They're going to be up. That's a good bet. But if they're going to be going against, let's say, maybe the football team or the Steelers or the Rams,
Baltimore.
just because they had a good week last week does not mean it's going to carry over, but they can still have a good season overall.
Mhm.
Yeah. And showing that the player can do it against a quality team like those teams versus the Jets or the Houston Texans, that weighs a lot more into how well you think he'll do in the next week.
And then do you guys, just in general, let's say there's a player in your league who had a high drafted running back go down, would you consider giving them like a little bit of a discount in a trade?
Absolutely
just because
not.
you feel bad?
No,
And
Actually,
you're looking at his team going, oh shit, Star, that sucks.
no.
I'm going to maybe, this guy's not my favorite. I'll sell him to you at a discount.
oh wait, there is one caveat to that statement.
Affidavit?
David, I think, is what he was going with. Yeah.
Something around there. The caveat there. Did that owner wish injury on your players and your team?
No.
Oh, okay. Then it's totally open. I think the demand,
Trajectory.
cost versus
Supply and demand?
Supply and demand. There we go.
Yeah.
The supply is low with injured players. The demand goes up. The cost goes up. Fuck out of here.
I'm helping you, brother.
Words are hard.
I'm fogged up today.
All right, fellas, we're 3 days away from NFL kickoff. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night.
Cannot wait.
7:20.
Cannot wait for that. But moving forward, let's get into our top fantasy players for the 2021 season. Let's start with quarterback. Gage's Rage, we'll start with you. Who's your top scoring quarterback for the 2021-22 NFL season?
Okay, I'm not going to be a stereotypical little bitch here.
You're going to be a
outside
hater
of the
on
box.
Patrick Mahomes, just like you've always been? We
Not
have
a Patty Mahomes fan.
268 episodes of proof that you're a Mahomes. I don't even know what's the
You're a
word,
Mahomes
Brandon?
apologist.
Mahomes anti.
Mahomes Hitler.
Suckers,
He's a Mahomes Hitler.
Yeah,
Whatever.
he is. All right.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take someone from a very competitive division, someone who is very young, very mobile. Justin Herbert.
That's a reach, but I love it.
I don't know how
Herbert's
much of a
such
reach it is.
Freaking good quarterback. He's in such a great system. I'm ready for the explosion in year 2.
The only thing I worry about with him is seeing how he reacts to fans now that there's full fans in the stadium.
Well, most importantly, like a hostile environment. That dude's going to go into Arrowhead and put up a good game. If he does, more power to him. I hope he does. I love him as a player. Star, who's going to be your top scoring quarterback of the 2021-22 NFL season?
Jalen Hurts.
Woo!
That is an official reach. Woo! Gage's reach is just a nice little.
Oh, man.
Quality reach. Star is
Oh,
going
man.
down.
Well, let's see. 2
He's
years
tying his
ago,
shoes.
I drafted Lamar Jackson. Thought this guy was going to be great. People laughed at me.
Yep, that's
Number one
true.
scorer. Last year, I drafted Kyler Murray. Not as low as I got Lamar Jackson, but it was still quarterback 9 or so. Thought he was going to be great. Other people didn't. Number one score. I'm just on Jalen Hurts this year.
I love
I
the
like-
running angle.
I like the mobileness of the quarterback. That's how you're going to score points. He's going to get rushing touchdowns on top of passing touchdowns. They're going to be down. He's going to have to make plays. That's kind of my equation on how to get points there.
There's one thing that scares me about Hurts is when Lamar went to Baltimore, they were a bona fide running team. When Kyler Murray went to Arizona for last year, they got him DeAndre Hopkins and they got him playmakers around him. Hurts struggles with his wide receiver group. I would say is one of the lower end wide receiver groups in the league, and his offensive line is shaky at best. Outside of that, a rushing upside quarterback's a good pick for a top scorer.
Along with the team in talks for trading for Deshaun Watson not very long ago.
That's a fair point as well.
Yeah,
Although
he's
I
not
don't
afraid
think-
of competition.
I don't think anybody thinks Deshaun Watson is going to play in the NFL this year. Brandon, your top scoring quarterback.
My NFL fantasy team thinks that it might be a possibility because he's on my team.
But there's a chance.
But he's going to probably get cut here soon. My top quarterback, I'm going to go with the consensus guy. Well, maybe he's not consensus, but in my heart, he is. I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes has got improved offensive line. He's still got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, two of the best at their position. And he's proven time and time again, the guy can sling it. With the protection there for him, and I don't think their running game is really improved at all. I mean, they got Jerick McKinnon. They got a banged up Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're still going to have to pass the ball. Their defense is good, not great. So it's not like they're just going to be ahead all the time. They're still going to be in dogfights from time to time. So give me Patrick Mahomes, the guy with the cannon arm.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all in on Patrick Mahomes, number one as well. I think Kyler Murray has a path to it. He's in a division where there's going to be a lot of scoring. He's obviously a running quarterback. He's got very good weapons around him. Kyler Murray has an outside chance.
Honorable mention to Josh Allen as well.
Josh Allen also
Did it
has a
last
shot.
year.
What about Dak?
I don't think he was
Dak,
number one
I don't
last
think.
year.
I think
I think it was
Jalen.
Kyler.
I think Jalen
I'll
Hurts
double
has a
check.
better chance as QB1 than Dak Prescott.
If
I think Dak has
could take his numbers from last year projected across his 16 game season.
I just think he's going to have a rough start. And if you miss if you have a bad 2 or 3 first weeks, you're probably out of contention for it.
In the shoulder, I'm just not 100% sold on with Dak.
His weapons are elite. He's got as good of weapons as anybody in the league. Let's move on to running back. And sorry, go.
Kyler beat out Josh Allen in the 16 game season.
Nice.
So Allen did have a better week 17, which pushed him over the
Oh,
top. But as we know,
I love the 16 week set.
16 week matters.
It does. Moving into the running back position, Brandon, let's start with you. Who's going to be your top running back for the 2021-22 NFL season?
It's obvious. It's Gus Edwards. I'm just kidding, guys.
He's
Not a
projecting.
terrible pick.
No,
His stock just keeps rising. His backup now has tore his Achilles in practice the other day.
no, you're going to have to go with somebody who's got run and pass catching options. Gus Edwards does not catch the ball. So in PPR formats, he's not going to be a top end guy. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go Dalvin Cook. The defense is better. So if the defense is playing bad, he's going to have the pass catching option. If the defense is playing well, they're going to be pounding the rock with him. Either way, he's got a path to the ball. I like Dalvin Cook. He showed it last year. He only played 14 games. He was still a top scoring running back. He's a consensus number 2 guy right now for a reason. And I think he's going to be number 1 by the end of the year.
Gage's Rage.
I'm going to take the other leading horse on this 2-track lane and go with Christian McCaffrey. He is a stud.
The consensus number 1.
He is on a worse team with Carolina, which I think favors more for fantasy production, being that he's such an excellent pass catcher. And just means more points. They're a lot easier to get.
Does
On the
the
receiving end versus the running end.
does the wide receivers on their team, the fact that DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall, do they make you nervous at all? Dan Arnold, who's a serviceable tight end.
Nope. I think with the young quarterback, the first option will always be McCaffrey.
He's a seasoned vet by now. He's
Oh,
going
yeah.
into his 4th year.
Oh, yeah. He's getting old. He's 26. He's got some miles on the tires.
I think he's 23.
McCaffrey?
No, Sam Darnold.
Oh.
Or 24, maybe.
Top
Yeah, when
running
you're
back.
seeing ghosts, you throw to the white boy.
Top running back, Star Lamar.
Oh, I had
Dan Arnold's white, by the way.
kind of a bold prediction for a quarterback, and I'm going to keep it with running back. I'm saying Saquon Barkley.
He was going to be my top take a chance on me player for draft season. His ADP right now, he's going middle to late in the 2nd round. He's got a chance to be the number 1 running back.
No,
for
he's
fantasy.
not. We just drafted. He was a, 106?
Look up what's his ADP.
Where'd you
I'll
take
pull
him
up
in our
ADP
draft?
quick.
6.
Give Star the floor, though.
I just think that, he's been completely held back by injuries. He has all the talent in the world, and this is the best offense he's ever played on. Health is his biggest concern. If that offense is able to move the ball, they got Kadarius Toney, they got Kenny Golladay, they signed Kyle Rudolph. They have a better offensive line than they've had in the past. If they can put it all together, Daniel Jones is going to be their heel, but Saquon is going to be their savior. If he plays 16, 17 games, I think he could be number 1.
Right now, he is going as pick 10. Well, that's in
In
standard.
standard.
That's in standard. Sorry.
In PPR, it's got to be higher.
He's 9 in PPR.
He's still a 1st round pick.
There are definitely drafts though where he's slipping into the middle of the 2nd.
With good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, he's coming off the ACL injury. He had that repaired sometime in the middle to late of October last year. So he's on 11 months right now. It's not his first injury, lower body injury. It's a team that's going to be playing from behind. Daniel Jones has been scary. He might be on a snap count week 1, most likely on a snap count, especially since they play Thursday week 2. So it's a quick turnaround to the 2nd week if they want him fresh and healthy for that loss. Going 0-2, they're going to need him.
And now you're talking about 10% of the season already being underway in a fantasy football world.
For my top running back, give me Dalvin Cook. He's now the 3rd leading pass catching option on the offense with Irv Smith going down. He might have been 3rd even with Irv Smith on the field.
Agreed.
He's definitely going to get touches inside the 10 at the goal line. He's the guy. Madison might get 1 or 2 touchdowns. I think Cook's going to be a 15 total touchdown this year kind of guy, assuming he stays healthy.
Of course.
We do have Alex. Alex, do you want to give your top running back?
I was going to say Josh Allen for the quarterback, and then Surprisingly, Henry for running back.
Henry in PPR format, you think he's going to be number one?
I think touchdowns will get him there.
What does he get? 20 plus?
Yeah.
Oh, man. But then you can justify taking him at 3 overall if he's getting 20 plus touchdowns. That's
Fucking right. It's a beastly lineup.
not right. I guess I'm excited to hear who your wide receiver is coming up here.
Oh, I know that one. It's Chris Evans.
Chris Evans?
Mike Evans.
The
Mike
running
Evans.
back? The backup
I'm
running
thinking
back for the
fucking
Bengals?
Captain America. I had Marvel on my mind this summer.
Isn't that
It
a
is the
rap
summer
song?
of Disney.
True that. Well, I guess no. Star's turn to start off. Wide
For
receiver.
wide
of the
receiver. That one seems to change very quickly, year in, year out. I think I'll probably go with Tyreek Hill because I'm just picking my fantasy team at this point. And Devonta Adams seems like something that I could pick, but I don't want to ever say Packers for number one. And I think Stephon Diggs is going to start to get locked up a little bit by defenders. They know that you got to take him out of the pass game to stop that offense. So I'm going to say Tyreek Hill, wide receiver 1.
I got one for you, and that puts the Vikings on 2 top scoring players at their respective positions. Justin Jefferson will be wide receiver 1 this season.
I heard them saying Thielen's touchdowns went way up off of the Irv Smith injury.
I think what's
Absolutely.
going to happen is Jefferson's going to get the catches and the yards he had last year, extrapolate that over the entire season, add the game. This dude's sitting at about just under
1,600.
and he's going to also add on, I think, 12 to 15 touchdowns. You put that on for a season, the dude's going to be a monster.
So already have him at for receptions somewhere like 110.
110 to 120. Thielen and Jefferson, assuming health, are both going to be absolute monsters. That they're the only 2 bona fide options on the offense.
Yep.
As
Thielen
receivers go.
Thielen is still respectable.
Yeah, and I
mean-
think Thielen's going to for sure outperform his ADP.
Agreed.
But I think Justin Jefferson has a shot to be the number 1 wide receiver, and I'm going to go with him because there's not that many mouths to feed on the Vikings offense that are as bona fide as he is.
Am I up next?
Sure.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm going to go a little bit. It's not too far out, but I'm going to go Calvin Ridley. He's now the official number 1 guy on
That's
Atlanta.
a bigger reach than Jefferson.
No, it's not.
I don't
Yes,
think
it
so.
is. No.
No.
Okay.
There's more options.
You forget
there.
about Kyle Pitts.
Rookie tight end. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
keep
going-
on your
Calvin
pipe
Ridley
dream,
is
bud.
now the number 1 wide receiver officially there in Atlanta.
No,
Their
Kyle
number
Pitts.
2 is Russell Gage. You're going to be banking on a rookie tight end. I mean, Kyle Pitts looks great. He caught a 21-yard pass in preseason. We all know that's going to extrapolate into the regular season
900
for
yards, 12 touchdowns,
1,200
and 80
yards. And-
catches.
exactly. Yep.
That's what
Um,
121 yard
Their
catch
running
rate
game,
is.
That's the floor, I might add.
their running game consists of Mike Davis, Cordero Patterson, and they just picked up Wayne Gallman. There's nothing proven about that backfield. That defense is bad. They're going to be passing. The number 1 option is Calvin Ridley. The guy was he number 1 last year? He might have been number 1
He
wide
was.
receiver.
Yeah, I think he's
I
been
think he's
number
gonna
1
do
the
it
last
again.
2 or 3 years.
I don't know if I go that far, but Calvin
He's-
Ridley is my number 1 wide receiver to have this year.
So Calvin
Great pick.
Ridley finishes as your wide receiver 1 overall.
He does.
Alex, let's go to you.
Like, Gage, I think, has to
Okay, we'll get Gage.
Gage save the best for last.
In the effort of Stars not saying a Packer, I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs. Otherwise, I'd pick Adams.
Much respect for
Stephon Diggs is not a reach by any means. The dude
No,
has it
no.
in him.
Yep.
Gage's rich.
absolutely. And pairs well with your Josh Allen pick. I am going to go on the other side here and go with a really, really deep sleeper. Huge progression, a very explosive offense out of the AFC.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
Yes.
I love the target hogs. I think he gets 120 plus catches. The yards come, the touchdowns come. Claypool's distraction factor. Juju keeps his TikTok dances up. Let's go, Deontay.
Are you feel pretty strongly about that, or are you just saying that?
I'm just saying it.
You don't feel like super strongly that
Oh,
Deontay
no,
Johnson?
I do. I really
Yeah,
do.
his price just went up, Gage.
I'm
You idiot.
not trying to buy him. I missed out on the draft.
Assuming
idiot.
that Ben Roethlisberger has one really good season left in him, Deontay Johnson is definitely a talent that could do it.
I agree.
I think there's too many mouths there.
He's the first mouth.
Not only is there too many mouths, but last year they were dead last in the run. 32nd. They added a first-round running back, Najee Harris, not to not use him, but to pound the rock. Big Ben
10 plus targets a game for Deontay.
Najee Harris is going to balance out that offense, which is actually going to help those wide receivers.
It's going to help them, but it's going to take away opportunities.
Not enough to where it's
No.
going to matter.
It extends drives. It makes their offense
Ben
more
Roethlisberger
efficient.
threw 608 times last season.
Yeah,
That's
not
going to happen.
sustainable.
He's going to drop that. I would be betting he's going to be closer to that 500.
I
bet
would
you-
even argue a little
But
lower.
they're going to
For-
be efficient passes. They're
Are
going to
they?
be high percentage to Deontay Johnson.
I still don't feel it. I think
Let's not
that's-
forget too, though, that Pittsburgh offense has other weapons.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
No.
It's just something to remember. Let's move on to tight end here, and we'll actually start with Alex.
And
Alex,
maybe
is
should
it
we go-
even worth?
Let's go
talking
top tight end outside of Travis Kelce.
Yeah, good move on that.
Hawkinson.
Mine's a no-brainer.
Irv
He's with
Smith.
my fantasy team. I'm gonna go with Darren Waller.
The Walrus. You can't go wrong with the Walrus.
I'm going to stick with my fantasy team here, and I
Whoa,
believe
whoa,
in-
whoa! You weren't up next. I'm just kidding. You go.
I'll leave my turn. Go ahead.
Just
guys.
annoyed as shit. Fine, Brandon, go.
I'm going to go 49ers tight end George Kittle coming back off of injury. We know the guy can do it. If he can get some touchdowns this year, he's got the yards. He's going to get the receptions. George Kittle is going to be the number one tight end outside of Travis Kelce.
All right, Gage's Rage.
I'll take TJ Hawkinson. Lions offense is
Woo!
abysmal, and
Their receiving options are worse.
TJ Hawkinson is on the rise, man. He's going to get just peppered with targets.
I think TJ Hawkinson will have all the opportunity to be it, but I don't know if he will be. I think I'm going to lean with Brandon here and say George Kittle. I think people forget what he's capable of because of that injury, but that dude was just as good as Travis Kelce when healthy.
The Las Vegas Raiders are coming into a season with probably the most unproven wide receiver core they've had since Gruden's been there. And Darren Waller's proven. He's a red zone threat. He's a big target. He's a guy Derek Carr loves. They've been together now for 4 years or whatever it is. I think Darren Waller is the shoe-in to be the number one. Kittle, for one, they like to run the ball too much. And for two, they actually have some really nice prospects at wide receiver now. 2 years ago, when Kittle was the guy, they didn't
There was
have the game-breaking
Kendrick
guys like
Bourne and
Ayuk and Debo can be. I'm not saying they will be, but they could
every
be.
single touch those guys get, there's an opportunity that goes to the house.
Do you not think that
Same
could
thing
help
with George
Kittle?
Kittle.
Waller's hands down the most dynamic player on that offense. I'm not sure that Kittle will be for San Francisco. The odds are that he
And
will be.
Mostert can't stay healthy, but when he's healthy, he's explosive as all get out, man.
I love
I've
Kittle.
seen-
I'm
I've
not
seen
trying to
Kittle do a
shit on
lot
the
of
guy.
things. I've seen him take a 4th and 4 for like 65 yards and an overtime touchdown against the Falcons. I mean, the guy can score at any point on the field too.
So no one
They
was
don't-
on the Mark Andrews train.
I love him as a tight end, as a top 6, but I don't like him as the one.
Breaking news, just signs a 4-year, $56 million extension. Do anything for you?
When did that break?
2 minutes ago?
It doesn't move the meter.
Nothing. No
No.
more commitment after losing the backup running back now.
The backup
Still
running back, the third string
the
running back
backups,
went down.
backups.
And they are dealing with injury.
Yep.
I think Hollywood Brown has been dealing with something this offseason. Rashad Bateman
Seems
is
like
hurt.
since he got drafted.
J.K. Dobbins is hurt.
Bateman.
No.
He did 4 years
Brown.
and 56. That's pretty team friendly.
It's what?
That's team friendly.
You think?
12 a year.
That's what Kyle Rudolph
That's
was
14
getting
a year.
paid.
56. A little over 12.
That's about what Kyle Rudolph was getting paid when he was with Minnesota. And Mark Andrews is a better tight end than Kyle
14
Rudolph
mil
was.
a year?
I thought it was like 12-ish. 14?
That'd be 48. You said 50. It'd be 14 then. Yeah.
Okay. 14's, I guess. I was thinking more like 12.
That's a lot in my eyes.
What are you going to do if you're Baltimore? You need him.
All right. What's the last position?
That's
You
it.
do kicker?
Early
Kickers.
season
Kickers.
heroes.
J Tuck.
Gage's
Charles
Rage.
Joseph.
Who's your guy that's in a position to really pop off and have a great start to the season? That's going to be an early season hero for you.
I think we all want this guy to be a hero because our guillotine $700 to barbecue counts on it. It's going to be Tevin Coleman.
Big board barbecue. We did that guillotine draft last Wednesday.
It went
We're
very
fired
well.
up.
We got really good wide receivers. The running back position's a little gritty.
We got 2 dynamic tight ends.
It's really fucking tough in leagues that are super deep to get quality running backs. I think we got a starter in Tevin Coleman for the first couple weeks. Moving forward, I don't know about the full length of the season, but He's a starter. He's on a bad team. They're going to be down. I think he's got a lot of opportunity to make fantasy production.
Alex, super fan Alex, give us your early season hero. Okay, we'll punt on that.
We'll
come back.
Star Lamar.
I'm going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think that as an offense, they're going to want to establish that run early to give Patrick Mahomes as much time as he wants later in the season. So they're going to use him early and often, and probably going to want to sell him high when he does that, because I don't see him being able to do that down the line later in the season.
I'm going to go with the number 2 option on the Baltimore Ravens as running back, and I'm going to go with Gus Edwards.
Gus Bus.
The Gus Bus, depending on when you drafted, his ADP was extremely reasonable. Now you're probably looking at 3rd, 4th round, most likely in the 3rd to try and grab him. But if you drafted like 2-3 weeks ago, you got him probably closer 7th, 8th, 9th, somewhere in that range. And Gus Edwards at that value as a number 1 running back on the number 1 run first team with minimal options at wide receiver, obviously Mark Andrews, but Gus Edwards is going to be pounding that rock. Losing Justice Hill does help his value, hurts the other running backs, helps Gus Edwards' value. So I do like him. I think Gus Edwards is going to be early season hero for your fantasy team.
I'm trying to look up his ADP right now. His ADP, he's 66 overall. So that's about the 5th round. That's an absolute steal. It's rising, obviously, but that's an absolute steal. My guy, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has opening night this Thursday, assuming Dak's arm is healthy. Dak will be playing, but assuming that Dak's not super rusty, he's going up against one of the worst slot cornerbacks in the entire league. He's going to show out on Thursday night. The entire world's going to be watching. CeeDee Lamb's going to show out on Thursday night. He's going to have a good week too, and it's just going to continue right on into the season. CeeDee Lamb's set on a very big season this year, and I like him to be the early season hero. Let's get into something more a little long term here, and let's talk about who's the one guy you want on your team if you're trying to get a league winner. Who's going to be the one guy that's on the most league winning rosters for fantasy football? Brandon, we'll start with you.
Brutal.
I think I'll start. Gus Edwards. I think Gus Edwards is going to be that guy.
Yeah.
We'll go to Brandon now. That gave you a little time to think.
Yeah. A lot of time there to think on that one. Technically I'd probably go with my number 1 running back. I'd say Dalvin Cook is the easy choice. The issue is I want to go with somebody who sits a little bit lower, not one of the top, 3-4 picks that you're not going to have a shot at, or that you didn't have a shot at in the league, even somebody in the 1st round. I guess I kind of sit at Calvin Ridley then. I think Calvin Ridley is the number 1 wide receiver. Most likely you didn't get him in the 1st round. You probably took him early to mid 2nd round. I mean, you're looking at wide receivers like probably Justin Jefferson might have went ahead of him. DK Metcalf, definitely Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, and Tyreek Hill. So he could have been your number 5 or 6 wide receiver off the board. And I think that's a steal for the guy that I think is going to be number 1 by the end of the year at his position.
Gage or Star, take the mic.
I'm going to rip a little different direction here. I'm going to go with the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Woo!
I think his difference making at the position you draft him, like Brandon was just saying, at about
Brandon or Gage, we're talking
9 or
about
10
fantasy football, not just the best guy that has the best chance to win the Super Bowl. Okay,
I know, but when you take a quarterback back in round 10, you get 9 position players ahead of him. You're not wasting your 3rd overall pick on Josh Allen. You're not wasting your 2nd overall pick on Patrick Mahomes. Those are running backs. Those are receivers, and that's what you need to win this damn game. It's really tough. Sometimes you pick the wrong guys. Sometimes you take the J.K. Dobbins 2 weeks before they get hurt. It sucks, and injuries happen. But what you want is value at the position, and Tom Brady is a dime of value.
I love that.
I like it too.
I love that take. Because where you're getting Tom Brady, I mean, what's his ADP right now?
Probably QB 12 to 15. I bet he's not even drafted as a QB1.
He's QB 9.
9?
Yep, drafted QB 9. He's 71 overall. So he's still going, end of the 6th round? Somewhere in there. So that's higher than what I was expecting.
Yeah,
I would say if you're getting
Tom
Tom Brady somewhere closer to the 10th round.
10th round, yeah.
Exactly. That's where I think
Which is where he was
going.
in our draft, I think.
He was.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you're grabbing him somewhere around there, you're taking 9 guys ahead of him. You're filling out your wide receivers, your running backs, a little bit of your depth at those positions before you're attacking a position that you can ultimately stream if you need to. by the end of the season.
And your fourth pick can be a Chris Godwin to pair with him, or a Mike Evans.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely. Antonio Brown later on too.
AB.
A guy you could get.
Maybe you're stomping on Star's toes there.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we'll,
bud.
we'll let Star Lamar give his.
I'm kind of going down the same route you did. I'm going to go with James Robinson. I think he's another guy that people were able to steal really late in the draft that is ending up being the starting running back, and I think has a legitimate chance of being a top 12 guy, running back 1 at his position. He was last year. I don't know why we'd assume it's going to be different this year.
Won't be.
Opportunity will be there. So I think if you were able to snag yourself a James Robinson late in the draft, and now he's going in the third, fourth round. So you got to steal there. Enough steals like that, you're going to end up winning the league.
Another guy that has a chance to be a real steal from a quarterback perspective is Justin Fields. Justin Fields will probably be the starter by week 2 or 3 for Chicago. He's got the rushing upside. If his offensive line doesn't get him murdered, he's got a chance to be to definitely outperform his ADP.
The rookies are tough.
Outside of Mac Jones, they all have the rushing upside.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Fields is going off the board as quarterback 17. Assuming he starts in week 2 or 3, let's just say that they came out and said Justin Fields will be the starter week 2. I think Justin Fields' ADP would rise very fast.
He'd be right behind Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Quarterback 10.
But as Star
Easily.
said, all these rookie quarterbacks do have rushing upside outside of Mac Jones. So
And
that
that's what
wraps
you
up.
need damn near to be fantasy relevant.
Well, especially when you're talking
As
about
a
getting a
rookie.
guy as the 17th quarterback, so he's your backup. If you draft him behind, let's say, Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, if he comes out and plays good, now you can start dangling that quarterback to somebody that needs one, and you might be able to get a Mark Andrews for him.
Yeah.
It'd be
Or,
like if you had Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, and you just wanted to give away Patrick Mahomes, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
So
the
you-
better
pretty much,
option.
yeah.
So
Out of the
your
two.
friend calls you and says, "I'll give you peanuts for Patrick Mahomes," and you say, "Okay."
A friend
No,
a friend
that's
wouldn't
not
do
what
that
it
to
was.
you.
It was penis.
It's penis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
You gave him penis for Patrick Mahomes.
You know, it's like
You're
Star
never
Lamar
gonna live
says,
this down, Scott. Never.
there's no reason to live it down. I got Patrick Mahomes in a trade,
Never.
in a gentleman
He got
agreement.
Patrick
Patrick Mahomes
Mahomes
and got
for
his dick sucked, man.
Curtis Samuel.
It was for DJ Moore, who might I add is a pretty mediocre wide receiver.
You're
so
getting the best player in the deal,
He's
man.
a top 12 wide receiver.
DJ Moore's
you
not
guys
bad.
just hate me because you ain't me. That's
He's
all.
just not Patrick Mahomes.
DJ Moore's horrible. Oh man.
horrible.
I
to
think
reach.
we'll know what he is after this season.
I do too.
Really quick regarding that Carolina team as a whole, they had the toughest fantasy schedule from a passing perspective in the league last year. So everybody that's low on Carolina's players, I think Darnold stepping in is an uptick from Bridgewater in the sense of downfield passing. Bridgewater was a short passing quarterback, but this stat also keys into Bridgewater. Another guy's a late round flyer. Bridgewater had the toughest schedule last season for a quarterback. This year, he has the easiest.
So now we'll really get to see what Teddy is.
Teddy is one of the best average quarterbacks ever.
That's just
Perfectly said.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Who's ahead of him?
Uh,
Kirk Cousins?
Any stud.
Dante
Ooh.
Culpepper.
Wait, Kirk and Teddy might be fighting for best average quarterback of all time.
Kirk Cousins has done more than Teddy. He's had more success.
Good point.
Teddy has he thrown more than 20 touchdowns in a single
Kirk
year?
is
Kirk
fucked up
Cousins
more
is
than
also
Teddy.
5-6 years older than Teddy, though.
He's fucked up a lot
no,
more
he's
than
not,
Teddy.
is he?
Kirk's like 33. Teddy's only like probably 27, 28.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't know. Teddy came out.
He came out at like 23. He's probably 20.
They were only like 2 drafts apart.
Yeah, Kirk is actually young.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Teddy Bridgewater is 6'2", 215 pounds, 28 years old, and
Oh, we
300
should have guessed
days.
off of his weight.
We
He's
should.
almost 29.
Well,
All right, here I'm
that's
gonna pull up Kirk Cousins' weight. and
Sneak
you
for the
guys can-
future podcast.
his Teddy Bridgewater's age doesn't quite land right if you don't know his weight. That's the key to success for fantasy football.
Kirk's weight? I'll guess his age.
Kirk Cousins is 202 pounds.
He's 33.
How old is he?
Sounds like a 32-year-old.
He just turned 33.
33.
But Scott knew that because he wished him a happy birthday.
I slid right in those DMs. Tried to buy his influence too. He wasn't down.
All right, I'll give you one more. All right. Jameis Winston weighs 231 pounds. How old is that man?
Oh God, he's got to be 29.
Younger.
Yeah, 27. No, 28. He looked.
I didn't look. I can't see, dude. My vision is shit. Okay, I can't see.
231 pounds. Remember,
have a
Kirk
good
Cousins was
I don't have a good
202
example.
pounds, and he was 33. So
27.
27 is correct. 27, 243 days to be exact. So
So almost 28.
fun stuff there.
All right, Gage's Rage.
Yeah.
Plug our sponsor for the season, Thrive Fantasy. Tell the people what Thrive Fantasy is all about.
So Thrive Fantasy is a app where you get to place wagers on a whole slew of prop bets. So I think you're selecting out of 10 possible, or there's like 15 to 20 possible prop bets available. You pick your favorite 10, take your best side, and try and get as much points as possible. There's different leagues. Number one gets the most points down to the last place in the top 10 out of 50. There's 50-50 pots where it's the top half win, bottom half lose. There's all sorts of fun options available on Thrive Fantasy's app, which is very user-friendly, but they all revolve around these prop bets and trying to score the most possible within that contest. So you'll have a bet of Patrick Mahomes having over or under 375 passing yards. The over may be worth 90 points because they're going up against Arizona and they're terrible, where the under will be worth 120 points. So you have to make your selection throughout a whole list of props similar to that with certain players. And like I said, make the most points possible. Super fun, interesting way to play a daily or weekly fantasy league.
Aren't they matching right now?
Right now.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I totally forgot, dude. Use your promo code BUD with your buds, and they'll match
With a
every
D.
dollar up to $100.
Instant deposit bonus.
Yeah, you don't
when
have
you
to wait
initially sign
5 days. No, you deposit, you get that bonus.
No
money.
incremental stuff like you'll see on these other websites where you have to spend $20 to get 10 of it.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
that
Some
happens.
bullshit.
Some daily fantasy outlets do that.
And guess what? Thrive Fantasy, official fantasy app of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's true. They're NFL official.
So if you're sick and tired of using the salary cap regulations that are set on like a DraftKings or a FanDuel, and you want something a little bit different, you want to be betting on props like you like to do if you're going on legal gambling websites. That is what you want to do. You want to use Thrive Fantasy. Use promo code BUD. That is
BUD.
there
Not
you go.
two T's.
That's 2 T's.
I got a compliment on my PlayStation name today playing Madden.
Are you playing against somebody?
Yeah.
What's your online head-to-head record right now?
0-1.
Oh, you only played the one game?
Yeah.
No wonder he was complimenting you.
It was right away at the beginning of the game.
Why didn't you tell him that we were
He
playing
said
earlier?
nice name, and his name was Cum Guzzler. So he also had a nice name. I'm assuming it was a guy. Maybe it was a girl. I
You
have
played
no
with Matt?
idea.
Patches 94 and
Yeah,
T-
Patches, what do you think of Madden 22?
He's a fan.
I love it.
He just picked up a dub today.
I don't have internet. Can't play.
Oh, that sucks.
In 2000,
Amish
what fucking
motherfucker.
psychopath in 2021 doesn't have internet?
Well,
All
when
right.
you live where there's not internet, that's how it works.
Them's the rules.
All right. I don't really have anything else. I'm excited for fantasy season
was it?
to kick off.
This is a great brand. Do you not have a
Next time we
Butthole
get
5?
together?
When the season kicks off, it's Butthole 5 every week. Until then, we're taking a 1 week hiatus. It might have been 2 because I don't remember if I did it last week or I
And
did it incorrectly.
You did.
It was incorrect.
I let one of these guys win.
That's
And if
right.
you guys
Count.
stick around for 20 minutes, we are going live again at 7:30 to talk about real football. We'll give some gambling advice. We're going to predict some winners, some losers of week 1 of the NFL season.
MVP,
And we're going to go
Roy's, D-Roy's.
game by game
Cody's.
through the Minnesota Vikings schedule, and we're each going to have a
I
win-loss
hate
record
that.
by the end of the year
So big.
I
for the
hate that.
Minnesota Vikings.
Wait. Are we going to do our league pick 'em too?
No, that's not going to be a thing this year.
Oh, you guys sick of giving me money?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I'm just sick of hearing Gage bitch about it. That's all.
What do you mean, bitch?
Oh.
What?
okay, the guy with the best pick takes the outdoor stadium and it's rainy and I have no first round picks.
No,
That was with
that's
Madden.
not. That was
Madden's
Madden.
fucking horseshit.
No, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Fuck you.
You mean
So, Yeah. Until
Maybe
then,
we'll do that off camera throughout the week. We still have till Thursday. If
We got
wanna do
fucking
it.
15 minutes. We're
I'll pick
talking
him.
about Star.
And hey,
No,
I'm saying-
between us.
hey, people that still have
He
fantasy
doesn't want
drafts,
to do the pick 'em. I'd be down for the pick 'em.
I'm in for the
of
pick.
course you're down. You're up $200.
people that still have fantasy drafts, enjoy it. Have fun. And
some
most
of you are
important-
drafting tonight, I'm sure.
Yep.
It's getting down to crunch time.
We have the official Butthole Guillotine League number 2 draft Wednesday night at 7:30.
Oh,
It's
shit.
happening. It's filled. It's
Let's
happening.
go.
So that's exciting. And we'll have 2 guillotine leagues rocking this year.
Holy fuck.
us
Wednesday
three,
drafts. Yes.
us 3 are in all 3 of them. Alex, you're in one of them. And Star Lamar's
I'm
not in any.
0 of
Well,
them.
no, technically, you're in the Butthole League guillotine one. We did it live at Big Boar Barbecue on Wednesday night.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Last
Technically,
Wednesday.
I am. Even though we took Justin Jefferson in the first round.
Wide receiver
Second
1
round.
this year.
We take him in the first.
Yeah, I think we did.
Dude, getting him at pick 8 when he's going to be the number 1 overall player is pretty fucking good value. All right.
Great value. With that,
Go jerk off.
Prevent cancer.
Bye.